Hello, and welcome to the Iaconian Archives. I am the archivist, your host and reader. In this episode, I will be sharing an excerpt from Til All Are One by author FalseProphet, a tale of Rodimus and Ultra Magnus from the IDW Generation 1 universe. So pour yourself a glass of Injex, get comfortable at your console or in your berth, close your optics, and let's enter the archives. When Magnus turned back to the argument, he stood straight upright. Rodimus was storming away. "I don't want to hear any more about it." "Well, you're gonna hear about it," Ratchet called after him, following Rodimus to the door. "Until I think it's finally gotten through those audios to your processor." "Ugh, how dare you!" Ratchet hissed out into the hall at the rude gesture Rodimus had apparently given him. The medic hit the button to close the door so hard it sizzled at him. Magnus shook his helm and moved to leave the med ward as Drift turned to tell the others that they were dismissed. As Magnus reached up for the door, Ratchet grabbed his arm. "Would you please talk some sense into that child?" "What makes you think he will be any more likely to listen to me?" Magnus asked sincerely, looking down at Ratchet. "The way he looks at you, I see hints of that same admiration he had for Optimus Prime once. He'll listen to you, even if he doesn't immediately act on it." "If you heard the things he has said to me while we are alone, you might not think that way. I am certainly no Optimus in his optics," Magnus said as he looked down the hall after the commander. He heard Ratchet sigh and he looked back to the medic. "Maybe not, but be careful, Ultra Magnus. I've seen the way you look at him, too." Ratchet shook his helm and patted Magnus on the arm. "Just don't do anything reckless. I think we owe him credits each time somebody but him gets to use that word." Magnus fretted. He wanted to launch after Ratchet to demand what he was talking about. The way he looks at Rodimus? What was the medic hinting at? But he couldn't deny that he had been, looking at Rodimus just moments earlier. He prayed Ratchet was the only one to notice. He would have to be more careful in the future. He left the med ward and immediately moved to Rodimus's quarters. He rolled his large pauldrons as he stopped outside the door. He took in a few breaths to steel himself for Rodimus's questions. The boy always had tough questions. Questions Magnus was certain would catch even Rung off guard. He entered his passcode into the door and it swooped open. He didn't bother asking for permission to come inside. He could see Rodimus's outline against the large window in his room. The commander was seated on the windowsill, one leg curled up, looking out into space like a scolded child. "Rodimus." "I'll listen to whatever you say, Magnus. I'm too tired to argue anymore. But I swear to Primus, if you say careless, reckless, or thoughtless, I'll shove you through the damned window." Rodimus turned to look at his second-in-command, his blue eyes flashing angrily in the dark. "Consider the words erased temporarily from my vocabulary." You can find this story posted in its entirety at archiveofourown.org, along with nearly 40,000 original Transformers transformative works. Give it a read and let the author know what you thought. Comments and kudos encourage authors to keep producing their art. Please share this channel with other Transformers enthusiasts. Subscribe and you'll know when new videos are posted. As always, comments and suggestions are welcome below. If you would like to suggest a story for reading here on the Iaconian Archives, please view our video From the Archivist, suggesting content, and you could hear me read some of your favorite Transformers fanfiction. From tonight's author and myself, thank you for your time and support.